Hello, everybody. Welcome to my quick class for this week. Today is, let's see, May 31st, and this is my quick class number 30. And I'm excited to have you join me to talk about a couple of fun things. We're going to make a gatefold card, and we're going to use some designer series papers. And the reason that we're using designer series papers today is because starting tomorrow, June 1st, 2023, for the entire month of June, all designer series papers, well, actually select designer series papers, which is most of them that are in the current 2023 to 2024 catalog, are going to be on sale for 15% off. And if you use designer series paper half as much as I do, you know that this is a great savings and it's a great time to purchase and stock up on some of those designer series papers. So I wanted to share using some of those designer series papers, but also we're going to use the Circle Sayings bundle. The reason we're using the Circle Sayings bundle is because I've been playing with it because I have a class coming up on June 21st at 7 p.m. It's my bundle class. So if you purchase the bundle by today, tomorrow might be okay too. If you purchase the bundle, I will send you the supplies for the 5 cards that we're going to make in that class, plus a tutorial and the recording of that class so that you don't even have to attend if you don't want to. But you can make these 5 cards and automatically you're going to have 5 cards to make with your brand new stamp set and punch in this case. So that is what we're doing today, and those are the reasons why. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to pull us over to my desktop, and I'm going to show you what our first card is. So here's our first card, and a gatefold is just the idea that the 2 sides meet in the middle and then stay closed with a closure. And the new circle punch, this is the 2 3/8 punch. This is perfect for creating that piece that keeps everything closed, more or less. Once you put it in an envelope and it stays in an envelope for a while, it will stay closed. But let me show you how we did this and what we used. So when I say we, it was really just me. So let's go ahead and take a look at first at the designer series paper. This designer series paper is called Bright and Beautiful. It is 6 by 6 and it has 12 different designs, 4 sheets of each. So that's a lot of paper in here. And the piece that I'm using has polka dots on one side and the other side is this yellow stripe. The yellow is Lemon Lolly in this case, and that's what I'm using for my card base. So what I've done is I've taken my card base and I've taken a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock and cut it in half this way. So we end up with what I call hamburger because it's flat, as opposed to long way, which would go beyond the paper, and that would be the hot dog shape. So hamburger and hot dog. So anyway, I should cut into the hamburger shape. Now, what I'm going to do is show you how to score it, and I'm going to use our handy dandy precision scoring tool, and you'll see that it has I always put it up to the top left corner, and you have this nice ruler at the top and going down the sides. And for this card in this this direction, you are going to score at 2 1/8, and then you're going to score at 6 3/8. But what I like to do is just flip it around and then score it at 2 1/8 again on the other side, and that helps me make sure that I've got the card in the way that I want it. And so then I'm going to just fold it in on those score lines, and we have a chance for them to meet in the middle. So look at that. That's how simple that is. So that is using the scoring tool to score at 2 1/8 inches and 6 3/8 inches. So now that I have that, I took my designer series paper and the one that I chose, and I cut it into 2 1/8, 2-inch strips, and the length is 5 3/8. Okay, and that allows you to cover almost all of each of the 2 panels. So I cut 2 of them, and now I'm just gluing them down to leave that little 1/8 of an inch around. Okay, so we have those 2 pieces, and we're going to glue them down again. Sometimes when we're working with the teeniest bit of an edge, it's sometimes hard to get it lined up, but I like to do it because it keeps things flowing. On the inside of the card, now we don't really have to do it because Lemon Lolly is a nice light color, so you don't have to have a white panel on the inside, but I think it's just a very clean look when it comes to a gatefold card. So I'm going to put this on the inside. This piece is the standard 4 by 5 1/4 that I use for all the insides of my cards. Okay, so it's the same size, and here we go. It looks like, let me just come over. I wasn't looking at my screen. There we go. Now you can see it a little bit better, right? Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to take a piece of white cardstock and I'm going to stamp. Now for this stamping, I didn't show you the stamp set yet because I don't have it on my desk. Let me get that. Unbelievable. Always something. So here is the stamp set, and this stamp set is, the bundle is actually the 2 3/8 circle punch and the circle saying stamp set. And you can see that it has lots of different sentiments and also different ways that we can stamp. And I'm going to show you a couple of ways today. So for the first one, I'm going to take the circle that says celebrate, and I'm going to use Misty Moonlight, and I'm going to stamp it onto a piece of basic white. Okay, and then I'm going to take some Lemon Lime Twist. Now on my original card, I'll show you, maybe, I used Lemon Lolly, and I kind of thought that was just too light, just, can't really see it. So we're instead going to use Lemon Lime Twist for this card, and we'll put it in this little cupcake, which I have seen lots of great uses for, this cupcake. But here we go. Here is our little cupcake on the center. So once we have that stamped, we can now work with our punch upside down. In case you didn't see, our punches lock. Okay, and so then they sit nice and flat on a shelf, and when you're ready to use them, you just unlock them. And I always work with my punches upside down. That is how they're designed, and that is so you can see through and that you can line them up exactly the way you want them. I might be a little close to an edge here, but what we do is we get it situated, and then I kind of press it just so that I can squeeze the punch. And I want to make sure when I squeeze the punch that I'm not gonna snap into this part of your hand, because that hurts like you cannot even imagine. So once you have it, you see my hands are, I'm using 2 hands, and I punch it like so. And here we go. So now we have our lovely little circle, and in order to make the closure for the card, you're going to put adhesive on one side. Now, if you want to, you can put it right onto the back of your circle. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to put it right onto the paper so you can see what it is that I'm doing. So you can see where let's see, can we see it? The adhesive is right here. Okay, I put 2 lines of adhesive, not too long, because I don't want it to go beyond the circle. But when I lay it down, I'm putting my cupcake right in the middle, and there we have it. So that is the gatefold. Now you want to make sure you don't get any extra adhesive, because if you do, the card stays closed and you don't get to see the inside of the card. And what fun is that, right? So I want to show you also, I just used some of the adhesive backed solid gems. I've been using these a lot lately. You can see I don't have too many left of, I don't even have the other colors. There were 2 other colors on here, and I don't have any left, but I'm just going to, because I have them, I'm going to use a couple of these in the Lemon Lolly, and finish off the card. So that is card number 1, made with the circle punch, oops, and the polka dot paper from the bright and beautiful 6x6 Designer Series papers, which will be on sale starting tomorrow at 15% off. Okay, so let's move on to another card though, because you can also make a gatefold going the hot dog way. So remember before I showed you the hamburger card? Hamburger, it was actually cut a little bit shorter, but it's just that it's a horizontal card as opposed to vertically, cutting it vertically. Now, when you do this, when you score it, you want to score it at, oops, let me get my stylus here, and so you can see, there we go. So this one, we're going to score at 2 3/4 on each side. So using the same technique as I did before, I just flip it around because I know I want it to be equal. And so when I do that, whoops, sorry about that, I just fold them in and they meet in the center. The color of this cardstock is petal pink. Okay, so nothing new. So here we go, we have it like that. But I wanted to show you one other thing. If you do not have a scoring tool, you do not need to have a scoring tool. What you can do is actually take your piece and fold it so that the two ends meet in the middle. And this is a little trickier if you want to get it exact, but it works pretty well if you just use your scoring bone or some nice strong edge and just keeping them matched up in the center. I just went ahead and folded them. Okay, so it doesn't give quite as smooth of an edge because when you fold the paper this way, this direction, when you're working with it, a hamburger, it's going against the grain of the paper. So you do kind of get, I don't know if you can see it, but it's just not as smooth. But if I had used the scoring, and when you use the scoring tool, it is a little bit smoother. But just so you know, you don't have to have a scoring tool, but it is very handy. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my first one, and here I'm going to use the Designer Series paper. Look how pretty this is, right? And this is called Hello Irresistible. This is actually available online only, and you can order it from the online store, but it has all these gorgeous papers. It's been out for a little while, but it is going to be on sale starting tomorrow at 15% off, and I highly recommend this. They are just so pretty. So I just took one of those sheets of paper and I cut them, and then I forgot to cut them the other way. So let me just grab my cutting cutter. I did it for my sample, but I did not do it for my extra pieces. So here's my cutter, and I want to cut this. I'm going to cut the bottom off, and you need to make it a little bit shorter. It's going to be 4 inches. So this is cut to 2.5 by 4. And I forgot to cut it by 4. So here we go. So now we have our pieces that are so pretty all by themselves, and we're going to just glue them down just like we did before. Okay, so it's the same exact thing, except it's going a different direction. Now, gatefolds have been used for a very long time, and sometimes I just think of it as just such an easy technique that sometimes a little embarrassing showing it, but then again, not everybody does it, and people may have forgotten about using it. So here we go. Now again, we don't have to put white on the inside, but because it's a gatefold, I like to have that extra layer on the inside. I don't know why, it just looks better to me. So that is why I'm putting the standard piece of 4 by 5 1/4 on the inside of my card. So here it is. Okay, so again, I'm going to take a piece of basic white cardstock and I'm going to stamp. Now this time, instead of stamping the circle, the circle and then the cupcake is what I did. This time I'm going to use different pieces, and you can mix and match them as you like, but what I did is I mounted them on the same block. So this says happy birthday, and it has some flowers at the top. Now this only works if you're using one color. When you want to change colors, you don't want to do it this way, but this is Flirty Flamingo, and I'm just inking it all up at once, and I'm going to stamp it down on my card. Okay, so here we have happy birthday stamped, and this way you can stamp more than one. And when I did my class recently, I had the stamps on the block the same way so that people could always make sure that it was lined up and everybody would have the same thing. So then we're going to take our punch, and again working it upside down, lining it up, popping it out, and there we have it. Now, in addition to the 2 3/8 inch circle, I could just glue it on here, but this time I want to do a little bit of layering. Now, to layer this 2 3/8 inch punch, you could do it a couple of different ways. Well, actually, there's just different layering options that you have. So the way that I did it is I took, this is the Stylish Shapes. It's stitched circles and squares and banners. And I took the second largest, okay, and it's just a teeny bit bigger than my circle. And I went ahead and I die cut it from the petal pink. And I'm going to go ahead and add this to my circle. And you'll see that it fits just so nicely. Now, if you have our old circle set that has the scalloped edges, you can also use that. One of the scalloped edges will fit around it. And again, I'm going to put it on my card. This time I'll show you. I'm putting it, doesn't matter where you put the adhesive, on the back of your circle or onto your card, but you just want to make sure it's only on the left side. Okay, so that it holds the card closed. Ta-da! So here is the card. If I wanted to, I could also cut another circle, and this is the largest of the Stylish Shape circles. I punched this out of Flirty Flamingo, and I could have put this on as well. And let me just show you a few. Well, yeah, let's show you what that looks like. So I'm going to take it off of here, and you'll see that it has a bit of a wider edge, and I could put this on as well. And I liked it better with just the petal pink, so that's why I settled for that. So that's some layering. The other way you can layer is using the 2 3/8 punch as the background layer, and then so I'll show you. So you could punch this out as the background layer, and instead of stamping on the large piece, you could actually stamp on the smaller piece. I'm going to go ahead, this doesn't really make sense, but this is how they're inked up. So I'm going to stamp the cupcake again, okay, and now I'm going to cut it out with one of our other punches. So you can see that we also have, so we have the 2 3/8, which I just showed you. Now we have the 2 inch and the 1 3/4 inch, and these two are available online, except that they're not available right now, but they're coming back into stock soon. So just so you know, they are a great layering tool. And here I'll show you. I'm going to cut it out with the this is the 1 3/4, and that can layer onto this, or I could add yet another layer with the 2 inch. So let me grab that, and I need a different color, so I'm just going to take this circle because I didn't pull another one over. 2 inch, and this 2 inch can go onto here, and that layers onto there. So there's another option for you. So circles are really a lot of fun to play with. You can do all kinds of things with them. They're just good basic tools to have. Oops, let me finish off my little card here before I forget. So on this card, I wanted to just add our little iridescent basic pearls. And for this one, I use a big one in the center, and a medium one on one of the other flowers over here, and a little one down here. So now this card is finished. So these are the 2 cards that we made. Now I want to point out that my class is Circle Sayings Bundle class. You need to have you need to purchase the bundle, and if you already have the bundle, you can order something that is comparably priced. This price before tax and shipping is $41.25. So if you order something similar to that and let me know, I will add that in. So hello, I have Kim and Rita. Thank you for joining me today. I was so intent on my desktop that I didn't even look up. Anyway, so these are the 2 cards, and they are both showcasing the DSP, which goes on sale tomorrow for the whole month of June for 15% off, and the My Circle Sayings class, which registration is due by tomorrow. That you order the Circle Sayings bundle, and then class is on the 21st, and I send you the supplies for 5 cards. So if you have any questions or concerns about any of these, I'm happy to get back to you. And I know, Kim, that's your favorite bundle right now, and I'm going to probably case some of the cards I've seen you make. And if you want, you can case some of mine. But yeah, Kim always has some great ideas. And if you just do a Google search for Stampin' Circle Sayings, you'll see all kinds of great ideas. And that's where I get most of mine anyway, although these were just my own. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, everybody, and I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.